Hello to all my friends out there, and this video is baked bread with me. Okay, when I was a kid, admittedly this was a long time ago, I was a little kid, I would sit in the kitchen and I would watch my grandmother and my aunts cook. They would make bread, they would make candy, you know, they would make roast, they would make fried chicken, whatever, you know, we were going to consume, they would make it. And my grandmother would make bread too. This isn't, I don't have her recipe. I think I have one somewhere, but this is one I like. And so the reason I like it is because you can whip up a little batch of bread in a minute. And I just rise it one time. One of the things I stockpile is yeast. I bought yeast at the 99-cent store. I bought this one at Walmart. And I keep it in the refrigerator and it lasts indefinitely. Okay, the recipe doesn't call for salt, but I think it needs a little salt. Okay, so let's see. I heated 1 1/4 cup water in the microwave until it was kind of on the warm side. I added 1 tablespoon sugar and I mixed it, and then I added, because I wasn't using a package, I added about 2.5 teaspoons. This is very easy too. You know, if you haven't been a bread maker, you can easily become a bread maker with my recipe. Anybody can do this. It's very important because in the event of some disaster, you need to be able to make some bread. Here's another good recipe on the back of the flour. It's pretty much the same. These recipes here make a small loaf. Okay, so I have my water, my yeast, and a little salt, and I'm just gonna mix it up in this. This is a great, what I do is I just put the flour in little by little by little. I mean, there's no total and correct way of doing it. I don't like to make a mess. You can use it if you have a bowl and you like that, that's good. Sometimes I make this in little bowls if you've seen my videos. So, one of the most important things to protect yourself from disaster, to protect yourself from running out of food, is the ability to make bread. Because if you have bread, you can have bread with butter and honey, you can have bread with gravy, you can make a little sandwich. I think the best thing for lunch is a sandwich. Yeah, a good sandwich. Or 2 sandwiches. You know, enough to last. The idea of there is enough to last until dinner. In the day, what happened is you had leftover meat from the night before, hopefully. And you would make a sandwich. You know, just put some meat in a piece of bread and that's it. Easy. And so, okay, what I'm doing is I'm adding the flour little by little until the dough starts to pull away from the sides of the... I like a soft dough, so that's why I don't want to pour all the flour in at once. You know, I don't want a stiff, doughy dough. I just want a nice, soft dough. And, you know, for food storage, if you can afford that premium gold medal flour, bread making flour, that's great. That'd be great if you can afford it. I live in a pretty small place, so, you know, I don't know, maybe. Okay, so now see how my dough is starting to pull away from the sides? This is my leftover chai tea with cinnamon and vanilla, French vanilla coffee creamer. It's delicious as iced tea. And so I think it's only fitting that as I'm approaching the views, which as those of you who know, 1 million views is about equal to nothing as far as YouTube goes, but it's still a pretty significant amount of people that have watched my videos, and I'm very grateful. When I first started this, never once in my mind did I ever think, oh, you know what's going to happen? I'm probably going to get 1 million people watching these videos. No, I honestly, okay, so my dough is still a little sticky at this point, but that is fine. And you will see why in a minute. Okay, so I'm just going to sprinkle some flour. If you go little by little, you're not really going to possible to wreck your bread. And so what I bought when I was at the store today is I found some marked down turkey. So I'll bake myself up a little batch of turkey legs and I will make some gravy. See how nice and soft my dough is? See how it's almost springing up by itself? And it's not too sticky, it's just nice and soft. Okay, so you want to just knead it for a few minutes. This is as easy as it is. See how this isn't a big fat mess? Okay, it's still a little sticky, so I have to put a tiny bit more flour. This is going to taste good with my turkey gravy. You know, I was thinking about something. You know, I watch other people's videos, and you know what I like? I like to watch them cook. And I thought, well, why not for a while until I'll do one topic and then the other. I will do some cook with me videos. You know, how I cook the food in the stockpile, mainly is what I want to do. Okay, it's still a tiny bit sticky. And so what I'll be doing is, as I'm cooking the food, I will do a video. Just like when I was in my grandmother's kitchen back in the day. Well, I'm as old as she was then. She was young. My aunts were young too. But at the time, I thought they were really, really old. And my great-grandmother was alive. So, you know, that was a long time ago. One good thing about being old, though, if you can stay healthy, is my grandmother, I think, was born in 1906. So figure her grandmother, because they didn't live that long back then. Well, her grandmothers did live a long time, but generally they didn't. So anyway, so at this point, I have some knowledge, somewhat, of almost 200 years. Because that's why grandparents can be so totally and completely nice to have. Because then you can get some good input. Now, my dad's side was healthy, and they would cook, you know, food. The mother would cook the bread and the gravy. It's not hard. It's easy. And then, you know, if you have a bigger family, you know, you're just going to have to make 2 loaves. And these days, you can freeze it. My grandmother, okay, this is starting to shape up now. My grandmother would get up in the morning and bake the bread. I think that's good. Okay, see, that's a nice little loaf of bread. Okay, and I just use margarine in my pan. It's still a little bit sticky, but that's okay because I like a soft dough. Okay, so I'm just going to let this double in size. And I'm going to rise it one time, and then I'm going to bake it. Let's see, what do they say to bake it at? Well, I'm going to give you one more shot of the recipe in case, you know, you want to do a screenshot. 400. If it starts browning very, very quickly, I just cover it with a piece of foil. Okay, I will be back in a few minutes, and God bless you all.